Estamos de vuelta en Headbangers con lo que habíamos prometido, con calor detrás de los buses de tour. Estamos con Igor y con Pablo de Sepultura para hablar un poco de lo que es este nuevo Roots. Thank you very much for your time, guys, and congratulations on the album, because Roots is an amazing record. Roots was released in February, and you're already on tour. When did you start, actually? Not with Ozzy.
We did a tour in Europe, like a little tour, like it was kind of like a club tour. We wanted to have like a riot every night, so we announced Sepultura, and it's like all little 1,000-seater club.
Okay.
And we went for a month. That was in what month?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
14 days.
14 days in Europe, and that was totally crazy. That's how we started the tour for Roots. And after that, we practiced some more, and then we got back on the Ozzy thing. And we've been doing this for about 2 weeks and a half, so.
And how do you feel playing with Ozzy? Because I mean, Metallica did it a long time ago, Anthrax, Korn last year, Sepultura. Now it's like Ozzy.
He got the balls. That's all I gotta say. He's got balls to bring out new bands that, you know, he's not afraid of bringing like powerful bands on stage with him. I can see that in a lot of the metal scene. A lot of big bands, they don't have the balls to do that. You know, like Pantera did the same last year with Dozen Biohazard. You know, that's respect. You know, when we go on tour, we bring bands that would challenge Sepultura to play even better. You know, opening acts that would scare us, go like, shit, we gotta be better than them. You know, so Ozzy got that with him. So that's why he gets so many good bands. That some of them make it really big after they open for Ozzy. So we're just very thankful that we can get on the tour like that, you know.
You were talking about Sepultura, and we guess because Sepultura now is so huge that you will do a headliner tour. You got some ideas when you're gonna start doing your own shows? Who's gonna be your opening acts, names?
Well, right now, the thing is confirmed. After this, we're gonna go to Europe to do the big festivals.
Okay.
And but we were working the headline tour and a bunch of other stuff. We're gonna do a second leg with Ozzy in September, and we're still working on it. There's a bunch of ideas, and we want to go everywhere, more than we did in Chaos AD for sure. We want to make all the countries in South America everywhere.
And some names that could challenge Sepultura's power. You got some favorites?
Nah, we just talking to friends. You know, a lot of these bands are friends, like Biohazard. We want to do a tour with Biohazard, and just new bands like Strife and stuff like that, just bringing new flavors into our, you know, the whole tour concept for us.
Ok, vamos a ir en un momento de premiere, un momento de debut en Headbangers. Esto es el segundo single del álbum Roots Attitude. Y estamos hablando de abriendo a Ozzy con una segunda gira en camino en septiembre junto a Ozzy, con planes para hacer cosas ellos como headliners y aparte con un gran disco entre manos. Eso se llama Roots. El primer single fue Roots, Bloody Roots. Roots was a concept that appeared before the song Root, Bloody Roots.
Yeah, it was a name that came to us, and we thought like it would be cool to have that name for the album. And after that, all the ideas were kind of like joined together. And at the end, we thought, man, this is great. We got, you know, the whole Brazilian flavor in the album, mixed with the metal, mixed with our roots of death metal. Everything is in the album. So first it came the name, then a lot of ideas, and then finally we came up with the song Roots, Bloody Roots.
Did you think twice about the name Roots, because it's such a powerful word? And for instance, in blues they talk about roots, and
reggae.
They said, yeah, reggae is roots. Did you think it like, wow? I mean, you were like forced to do that fusion of styles, and how did you decide how much of a fusion, how much of a?
I think, you know, that, like I said, roots for us, it means so much, not just, you know, our roots, our Brazilian roots, but it can be the fact that it bands together for like more than 10 years. We got a root, and anything that we can think of the band, it's related to somehow to a root or something. So that's how the whole idea of Roots came out, and being a strong name, that it's even better for us. You know, it makes us work harder to have an album that will make it to that name, you know.
Esto es Roots, el nuevo álbum de Sepultura, y vamos a hablar un poco del video, que es el que vamos a ver. Paulo, could you tell us a little bit, where did you shoot the video, the Indian people in there? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we did, there's no Indians on the Roots, but we shot some stuff with the Indians in Brazil. We flew to Mato Grosso state, which is below Amazon. but they have the tribe, Pimentel Barbosa reservation, and we spent 3 days there with the tribe, and we record a song with them. And there was a camera over there just, to do all the documentary. So we could have that and show to the people how was it.
Are you planning to do something like Third World Chaos, like the video you did for Chaos AD, just to show a little bit about what we didn't see?
Yeah, I think they're planning to put on a CD-ROM the whole jungle experience. Like we went to the jungle with the tribe, so they might put a CD-ROM and maybe a video out. There's nothing really confirmed on it, but we always like to keep fans updated. Not everyone have a chance to see MTV, you know what I mean? So there's like places in Brazil that you don't have a chance in putting out a video. A lot of these people have a chance to see that.
Ok, vamos a ver entonces el primer video, Roots, Bloody Roots. Estamos de vuelta en lo que es casi como un Woodstock, pero es otro tipo de cosas. Es abierto, no es un gimnasio, no es un estadio, es una cosa abierta para ver a Type O Negative, Sepultura y Ozzy Osbourne. Let's go back into the Roots album. How much what was the influence of Ross Robinson as a producer in the result? I mean, it's the first time you worked with Ross Robinson.
Well, actually, a lot of producers came to Phoenix when we were doing the album, making the album, and a lot of them had, different ideas, and we just thought that Ross, he had like a very strong, and he really wanted the band to make more and more in the studio, not just recording the songs and that's it. He wanted to put more and bring out more of the drums and bass and anything, vocals, guitar. So that was the main approach that we picked Ross to do the album, because we knew he was gonna go crazy with us. Anything in the studio that we could think he would be up to it. Like
it was. Yeah, the idea is to record in an old studio to get the really raw sound, and that's one of the main things that I think everybody like it, and we didn't want to use anything digital for recording this, so we couldn't have the really heavy and big sound.
The fact that Ross worked with Manhole or Korn, was something special about the new sounds of the bands of the 90s that Sepultura didn't want to repeat themselves, and which was
I like some of the songs from Korn and Deftones, and he also produced a lot of different stuff that we heard before that, like the first demo for Fear Factory. Okay. He produced all kinds of music, so that was the main reason that we liked Ross. He could do all kinds of different styles, and also we had a chance also to work again with Andy Wallace to mix. So we knew that it was gonna be a Sepultura album, because Andy is really good on capturing what Sepultura puts in the studio as far as mixing, make sure it's right in your face, that kind of vibe that we like.
Okay. Tell us very short about your shows live. How many songs of the new album are you playing now that the album is released?
Well, this tour, we don't have that much time to play. We're doing one headlining show on the whole Ozzy tour outside in a day off, but we play about 4 new songs, yeah, and then some of the old shit. We can't go out and play without. Gotta play the old stuff. We have a lot of old fans that come to our shows, and also we like to show some of that old Sepultura style to them.
Desde Austin, Texas, nos vamos ahora a un 3x1 porque aquí estamos, por eso es el lugar tan especial dentro de la mitad de los Estados Unidos junto a Sepultura. 3x1, 3 videos en fila al regreso de comerciales. Let's talk about Latin America. When you're planning to go over there, what do you remember? It's not what do you remember about Latin America, because we already talked with Max about that, but plans, month, you have a definite date for that?
Not yet. We're gonna start working on the whole touring concept right now. After the Ozzy's done, then we're gonna start really seeing what's gonna be the best time to go. South America, Japan, because I don't think we're gonna be touring for less than 1 year. It's gonna be more than that. So we might even do South America twice, on this tour. That's what we hope, at least,
Paulo, do you think that the fusion, the mix of tradition and folklore and thrash and death metal would be the example for the Latin American bands to follow?
I think so. It's when you talk about music, it's hard to say, because you have to have a really open mind to do that. It's like we listen to a lot of stuff, and so that's what brought us, to end up writing something like that, this record. And it just depends on each band and just we like to listen to a lot of stuff. We like to bring everything we learn and we experience in our lives to our music. So I think that's what Sepultura is about.
Yeah.
How challenging was the fact of that you wanted to take Kiowa from KSAD to a step farther? How challenging it was? It was very easy because it came naturally, or it involved some work?
Well, it do involve some work and also always involve like a challenge. You know, you never know if people, like when we did Kaiovas, if people would accept that kind of music together with the Sepultura music. So we take a risk, you know, and luckily our fans really understood that that wasn't like a Sepultura ballad. That was something that come from inside, you know. It's a deep song that for us it means a lot, you know. It's not just singing about something that we don't know. It's something that it means a lot to Sepultura. And with Roots, we try to go even deeper on that kind of concept when we did Itzari with the Indians. So I think if we're gonna go deeper and deeper, you know, it's not just write stuff that really means something to us so we can play live, we can really feel it inside the music, you know.
So you cannot even imagine about the next Sepultura record. Could be...
Nah, it's gonna, I don't know what's gonna be sounding like or even what we're gonna be writing about, but ideas, we have ideas all the time, and that's what it's good about, you know, Sepultura. I love because it's 24-hour Sepultura for us, you know. It's like we get on the bus, we'll be talking about new things, new shirts. We like to be involved 100% with everything Sepultura has, you know.
And you can talk about for representing Max in the lyrics, because it's a departure. It's like more personal than ever now.
Yeah, well, I think when it's really hard to me to say because I don't write the lyrics, so I really don't know what he's thinking when he does. But it's like things we see a lot, and you know, you just try to bring in an honest way to our music to fit with the whole conception of the record and the strong music behind. So you know, so you cannot write anything, but you have to really go for it. You know?
Bueno, vamos a ver otro. Este es un clásico dentro de Headbangers, se llama Slave New World. Roots, porque estamos entrando solamente a meses de este álbum, ya está creciendo a la altura de un segundo single junto a Igor, junto a Paulo. Thank you very much for your time once again. I know it's like minutes, hours to go on over there and play and stuff. No pressure at all.
Nah, for us it's great, you know, because we start hearing when the album was out that MTV Brazil, MTV Latino was really pushing Roots. So we're very proud to be here, you know.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this new album. How long did it take in comparison with KSAD to put it together, the whole thing, to build it in the studio, the sound?
The studio, we don't spend that much time in the studio. It's usually like a month, no more than 2 months, you know, recording and mixing. Because at least for us, we feel that once it's recorded, it's done, you know, you can't really mess around with it. The drum tracks, I record everything straight up, like 1-2 times, and that's it. It's done, you know. We don't, at least for me, I don't like too much the studio experience, you know. I like to hear when it's done, but being in the studio for me is very boring, you know. So as far as writing, and then it takes a little more time because we write in Phoenix and we have a warehouse that we can go and spend our time there just writing.
The composition, the writing process took place where in the last tour, rehearsals and sound checks and
some stuff. Some Max and Andreas will bring some riffs. I will come up with some drum ideas on the road, and then when we get together to practice, then the balls are rolling, and then there was more and more new ideas coming. It's been like that since the day one we start playing together. The four of us fighting to get the songs right.
Paulo, this is for you. We were surprised by finding as a B-side a version of Procreation of the Wicked by Celtic Frost. Whose idea was that?
Was our idea, like, you know, I think fits with the concept and the roots, because that's what we've been listening when we like this big, and when we started the death metal scene back in '85, '86. So we thought about that. It was like it's a very strong song. It's very straightforward, you know, it's right in the face, so it's a really good
Celtic Frost, I think, for me today, there's no death metal band that can top them, you know, even the new stuff. Nobody touched Celtic Frost. They're an amazing band. They were, you know, back in the days.
Yeah. Did you hear the tribute album of We were wondering why Sepultura wasn't there when we found out about your like Procreation of the Wicked.
I don't know. It was a different record label. They didn't contact us to find out about that, so it was done. You know, if it was a Roadrunner thing, we'd probably do. You know, we'll be on it, but it was just not in touch with us. That's why we're not on it.
You were talking about the Roadrunner, and it's also back to the roots, going back to Roadrunner. I mean, you feel that's like very strong independent record label, but it really care about you.
Well, we start to grow up together, you know, and they understand what is Sepultura about, and we always work together. So when we went to a major record label, the thing didn't work right, so we had to come back and fix that.
But it's not something of sales, because I mean the sales were very good. It's something like the atmosphere that you catch.
Yeah, I think it took us a long time to get Roadrunner to find out how to work with us, since we're so involved with it, and to do the same again with a bigger label, it was almost impossible. You know, with Roadrunner, I know exactly if something goes wrong or something goes right. I know exactly who to blame or who to call and say, hey, this is great, you guys doing. On Epic, it was impossible because there was so many people working and they don't give a fuck about Sepultura, you know, to be honest. We're like a number 100 out of their list, where a Roadrunner, we're on the top 5 working, you know, together.
Okay. Esa es otra vuelta a las raíces con Sepultura y esto es otra vuelta a las raíces de videos Inner South. Bueno, así de rápido estamos llegando al final de este Headbangers. It's good to know that it's a Headbangers Ball in Latin America and it's Headbangers in Europe. Do you think that in the USA, in the United States of America, they're gonna bring it back? Because they know that it's a fact. I mean, metal is not dead. That's a misconception about it. Like,
I hope, because I remember so many people, you know, writing and just being really into the Headbangers Ball. They play not that many, you know, new videos, new bands like they do in Europe and South America, but still, I think they should bring it back. It's something very strong, I think.
Okay. Paulo, last words. Before the end of the year, we could count with Sepultura in Latin America before the end of 1996.
Hope so. We work on that very hard, you know, because if we don't go back and do so, they're gonna kill us.
Okay.
I already heard that from my mom. She said.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, Paulo. Y recuerden, la próxima semana nos encontramos en Nueva York con Metallica. Esto ha sido Sepultura. Stay heavy, manténganse pesados. Hasta la próxima semana. Chao.